Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot an industrial motor. And in my case, I was having like 25 kilowatt motor, and there's 400 volt, 50 hertz, and 1470 RPM, and its ampere rating is 45.2 amps, and IP, that's the engine operation, is 55, and it's a delta connection motor. And this motor actually is new, but we got several problem with this motor when it was running. And today I'm going to just show you what is the main problem and how we remove the problem. Okay, so let's start it. As you can see that my main are already trying to remove its back part, because today we're going to dismount this motor completely. You know what, sometimes it's really impossible to find out the problem for an industrial motor from outside. That's why we're trying to go inside of this motor and find out actually what happened with this motor. Now we are removing its front cover from the load side, and we already put a mark on the bolt, because if there is no problem with this motor from inside, then we need to mount this motor completely, and this mark will help us to find the alignment with 4 volt from the front side. Now we're going to removing its key from the shaft, and be careful, it's really sharp. Okay, so it can hurt you like this. Now we're going to release the bearing case, because the bearing case contain bearing, and of course there is a lot of grease, lubricating grease inside the bearing, and this bearing case is attached with the front cover case, so we need to remove it before you open it. Now we're releasing the front cover. now they are pressing from two sides. Okay, so this is a bearing, and yeah, there's some grace which is like new, and it's okay. So we thought maybe there's some problem with the bearing, but it seems like that it's okay, and grease is completely new, because this motor it just ran about like 2 maybe 3 days, and then it got the problem with this motor. And one thing is very important, that the coil is like black. I think it shouldn't be like that, because it's new motor, and as you can see there is a lot of carbon with the coil, and appears with the rotor. I think we need to remove its back part, then we can separate it, and we can find out actually what happened. And now we are removing its back part. Okay, this is the common way in my factory. We used to separate the shaft like this, like old way. It seems like crazy, but you know what? It really works, because this motor weight is like 205 kg, and if you wanted to remove this rotor from inside this motor, you need to push harder, and this wood is doing this job for us. Okay, now it's coming outside slowly. It's too much heavy. Now look at this front side rotor section. It seems like black. That means there's a lot of spark happened here, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like backside. Look at the backside, and it's like smooth and clean. But front side is like burned. That means there's some problem. And look at the backside coil, and it seems like okay, because it's a new motor, and it should be like that. But the rotor, there's some problem. Oh my god, there is a metal part with this rotor, and it shouldn't supposed to stay here. Anyhow, it just came here, and it is one of the reason that's why this motor wasn't running very well. I mean, it wasn't running, it was just completely stuck while we were pressing the start switch. So it's one of the reason, and this coil should be like that, because I'm going to make conclusion. So this coil is backside coil, and it's like clean, nice, and should be like that. But what do you find here? We just found out like this coil is the front section, for this motor, and as you can see there's some glitch there, and I can tell you that this motor will not work because there is several damage with the coil winding, and this motor will send to our message section and they will rewind this motor again. And there is some metal part which is found under the coil section of this motor, and of course from the front end, and it also responsible for this problem that we are having today. And I'm going to tell you why this kind of metal object inside of this motor. You have to remember one thing: when you're designing a rotor, then it should be well balanced, and if it's not, then what will you do? You will just put small amount of weight around the rotor, and of course from the front end to the back end, that it can rotate smoothly. I mean, you will get the perfect rotation when it's well balanced, and that's why manufacturing company used to put that kind of weight around the rotor section, that it can rotate smoothly. That's why they use that kind of weight. And in our case, the balancing point was misplaced and the weight spread all over the coil, and it tried to rotate, but anyhow it just heated the coil, and that coil was burned by it, and our rotor was become like that, burned black. And this is the first one that we got, which was stuck with the rotor section, and of course for the front end. And there is some others weight which also found inside this motor. And thanks for watching this video. I think this video will help you for better understanding if you're having this kind of problem in your life.